Hi, Stacy. Thank you for coming in today. This is your first therapy session with us today. You had your assessment last week.
Mm-hmm.
So today I want to start off by doing what I like to call setting the agenda. I do this in all my sessions, and we'll probably do it for all of our sessions in the future. And the reason why I do this is to make sure that we are able to, cover all of those big concerns that you might have that might be bringing you to counseling. And I want to make sure they get all discussed so that we can use this time, the little time that we do have, as well as we can. Okay? So, in saying that, I have a couple things that I know that I would like to discuss with you, if that's all right with you.
Okay.
But I would also actually like to know what you would like to discuss too, because I think that's very important, for you to voice your concerns as well.
Okay.
Okay. After we do this, I'm going to share with you what I would like to talk about and ask you what you would like to talk about. After we do that, maybe we will, along the way of discussing it, we might find things that might be good to practice. I think practice always makes perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard that saying?
Yep.
Okay. So it's kind of like some people call it homework. I like to think of it as practice. And basically, that's, through discussing what might be going on in your life right now that might be causing you a lot of stress and being depressed, that maybe we can find some ways to kind of alleviate that stress and depression. Okay? Um, at the very end, I would like to ask you for your feedback, if that's also all right with you. Just like to know how the session went for you and what worked and what didn't work. Okay. And that's kind of what counseling is all about. Not everything is a miracle. So
Right.
we'll just, we'll talk and see what we need to do, okay?
Okay.
All right. So let me, and do you mind if I take notes while we
No, go ahead.
talk? Okay. I just like to do that because in case there's anything I might miss, I just want to make sure that all those important things are, able to be written down.
Okay.
Awesome. So, Stacy, the very first thing I noticed from last week with discussing, you have never had a diagnosis before. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we talked about a little bit last week about your diagnosis of depression. It's a very mild form of depression. However, it is a diagnosis of depression. So I'd really like to kind of focus on that as part of our therapy today and kind of answer any questions that you might have. Okay? So I'll write that down. The second thing I would like to talk about today is just kind of how you've been this week. How the last 7 days have really been for you.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you might want to add to that list? Things that might.
Well, lately I've been finding it really hard to get up, go to school, and go to my internship.
Okay.
I don't know. Just I'll wake up and I'll try to get out of the bed. I don't know. I just can't force myself to do it.
So is this like a lack of motivation concern, or
Yeah.
is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. I notice a little hesitancy. Are you hesitant about that?
I guess it's lack of motivation. I mean, I want to. There's something in my head that I can't force myself to do it. No, I need to.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know. I just can't.
It sounds like it's really important to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead and add that. Make sure maybe we can get to that today. Anything else that might come to you? Is something you would like to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, you might have other things that come up as we meet. So if there's anything, just go ahead and interrupt me and let me know, okay? Because I want to make sure that we get everything. And even if it's something we don't get to today, we can start off next week by setting that new agenda and talking about it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So next, let me ask you, in the past week, if you could sum up the entire past 7 days since I've seen you in like one or two sentences, what would you say?
It's actually kind of a rough week. I don't know. haven't really done much, and I've been feeling kind of lonely, and overwhelmed. School, I don't know.
So that sounds like it's about one sentence. So so you're feeling, I hear you're feeling really overwhelmed. You have a lot going on with school, and the other thing you said was getting your work done.
Yeah, I've just been lonely and overwhelmed.
Lonely?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me write that down. Okay. How have you felt in the last week?
I don't know. Really sad. It's been sad, yeah.
Has your sadness been more than usual?
No, it's probably been about the same. It's been like that for a couple months now.
Okay.
So, pretty much ever since school started, it's been like that.
When did school start?
Started 3 months ago.
Okay. And now you're kind of coming around the holidays, huh? Okay. All right. Is there anything else that happened in the last week that might be important for us to talk about real quick?
No, I've been trying to work on this paper, and I don't understand it, and so I'm just getting really frustrated, and I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish it because I don't understand it.
So you have a paper due?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit more just about this paper.
It's a research paper, but I can't find any resources for it, and I don't know. I just don't know what I'm gonna do.
I can tell you're really stressed about that paper. Okay. Is it worth a lot in your grade?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's worth like 40% grade.
Wow, yeah. That could be really stressful. Let me go ahead and, is that something you might want to add that we talk about?
Yeah.
Okay. That could also go with the motivation.
Yeah.
To do it. Okay, I'll put those together. So, Stacy, I would like to, is there anything else important to talk about? Okay. Well, if you think of anything, just let me know. I'd like to talk to you for just a minute about what I had put on the list, which is diagnosis. Um, as I said before, you are diagnosed with mild depression. Um, have you ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know a lot about it?
I do. My grandmother suffered from depression her
Okay.
whole life, so I'm gonna get to the point where she wouldn't even get out of bed anymore. So, I mean, I've seen it. I know a lot about it.
Okay. So if I had to ask you what you thought of depression, what comes to mind when you hear that word?
Sadness, weakness.
Okay, sadness and weakness. And do you think, with you having that diagnosis, do you find that those apply to you as well?
Yeah.
All right. Any other things about, your diagnosis that you might have a question about?
Not really. I guess I just never would have thought that it would apply to me, because I saw my grandmother and I just never thought that I would have the same thing as her,
Yeah, definitely. When you did find out, how did you feel?
Disappointed,
Yeah?
maybe?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Do you still feel disappointed?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit about that. The really good thing about depression is that depression is treatable. Um, Cognitive behavioral therapy is a wonderful technique that we use as therapists with people with depression. Have you ever heard of that therapy?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna, if it's okay with you, maybe practice that and see how that works, if the depression gets better and whatnot. All right, and see if that, disappointment kind of lifts up. Okay, good. Um, When you think of your depression, has it changed in the last week when you think of those symptoms that you might have? Weakness and sadness?
No, it's pretty much been here for a couple months, the way I feel.
And I know you came here to get help.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you know that you were depressed?
Honestly, my mom made me come.
Your mom made you?
Yeah.
Okay. How would she have known?
I don't know. She just says that I don't sound very happy on the phone, and we've been getting into a lot of fights. So I feel like she's been nagging me so much about everything lately.
That's how you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, I don't know. So she just said that I needed to go talk to someone.
Are you glad that you did that?
I don't know. I mean, it hasn't really affected me yet, so I don't know.
Okay. Are you taking your medication?
I have. I am, but I'm not feeling anything yet.
It takes it at least, I always like to say, at least a good 10 days to get in your system and kind of see some of those results. And please let us know if there's anything wrong with the medication so that we can gauge what you need to get the right amount, okay? Okay. When I think with depression and why cognitive behavioral therapy works so well with depression is because when we're depressed, we're thinking depressed, right? Our thoughts are depressing. And so when we think depressed, how do we feel?
Sad.
We feel sad.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the words that you associate with depression, sadness.
Mm-hmm.
So cognitive behavioral therapy is actually looking at those thoughts, those depressed thoughts, and changing the thoughts. So using the same analogy that we just used, the depressed thoughts lead to a depressed person or a sad person, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happens when we don't have depressed thoughts?
And I guess you're just happy.
Okay, happy.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah. And that's pretty much the gist of it. See, you're already almost pro at this. So if I had to take you to rewind a little bit, okay? Do you remember the last time you really felt happy?
um, Last summer when I was with all my friends.
Yeah. With your friends?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, we all have one night a week. We all would get together and cook a big, call it family dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd all take turns cooking, and so everyone would get together and we'd have, a home cooked meal, and we would just all hang out, and I don't know, it was just fun. It was a good time.
It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you would get together, or did you say these were your friends or family?
Friends.
With your friends?
Mm-hmm.
Do they go to school with you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay.
Well, they did.
They did.
Yeah.
Okay. In high school?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Have you made new friends at college?
No, not really.
Okay. So it sounds like friends are really important to you being happy.
Yeah.
Okay. If we go back to what we kind of discussed about happy thoughts lead to happy feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's very generic, very surfacey. If being with friends made you happy, what might you have been thinking that made you happy?
When I was with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know, just how good of a time I was having, and I felt comfortable around everyone, and I don't know. I always had more confidence when I was around my friends,
Mm-hmm.
So,
Why might you have more confidence around your friends?
I don't know. Just, I feel like they all knew me, so it was just easier to be myself. But I don't know anyone here, so I feel like I can't be myself.
Do you feel like you're more like uncomfortable now?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't have someone to back me up anymore.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. So, how did what did you and your friends do for fun when you were happy?
I don't know. We did everything together. We were shopping. We
Yeah.
just hang out, watch TV, we'd go see bands play, drive
That's
around.
fun.
We just took everything.
What kind of music do you
It just depends.
Yeah.
I really like, rock, but
Cool. Cool.
so many different genres. So.
Do you still listen to music a lot?
Mhm.
You do? Do you find that changes your mood at all?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I could ask you in the last week, or 2 weeks, if that's easier, have you noticed a change in your mood? Any change?
I guess I've been a little bit more stressed this past week because of the paper.
Okay. So stress from sadness, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I also heard you say earlier overwhelmed. Feeling overwhelmed this last week. Okay. So when your mood changes, do you notice anything else that changes?
Not really. Just my energy. Like, I just don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like getting out of bed. I feel like showering.
Your mood changes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's this really cool thing. So in cognitive behavioral therapy, it was made by this really smart guy, Dr. Beck. Okay, and Dr. Beck, I think he's phenomenal in what he came up with. And he basically says, and I kind of drew it here because sometimes it's a little easier to see it. He tells us that our feelings, how we feel, is not because of what happens and what we do. It's because of this one.
Okay.
What we think. So when you felt overwhelmed, what may have caused you? What was causing you to feel overwhelmed?
My paper.
Okay, your paper.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go back to your paper, it might have seemed like I have a paper and I feel overwhelmed. And that's why I feel overwhelmed. It's because of this paper.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dr. Beck says, wait a minute. We're going to add another thing right in the middle there, and it's going to be your thoughts. So let me challenge you real quick. What were you possibly thinking when you took out that assignment to try to do it?
That I was never gonna get this done because I wasn't smart enough. Or...
Mm-hmm. Now, do those sound like depressed thoughts or happy thoughts?
Depressed thoughts.
Depressed thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So the depressed thoughts might lead us to feel overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.